This was the most emotional moment in all of Star Wars, let alone 2020. What's going on, crime fighters? I am Vengeance, I am the Knight, and welcome. I feel like an R&B singer. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to deep dive, or at least for their very much dive, into the latest episode of The Mandalorian. Now there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to get into. I'm going to take it step by step, and of course leading up to the very big finale into which everybody, is talking about. And the one that everybody, quite frankly, lost their minds to, including myself. But before we get started, guys, I want you to do me a big favor. If you like what you see, if you like what you saw from my previous reaction, the one, we're talking about now, hit the subscribe button. I'm telling you guys, it's not an empty subscribe. There is tons and tons of content now, and there will be tons more in the future to keep you more than satisfied. We have tons of events, unique and original events that nobody else on YouTube is doing, so make sure you're a part of that, because you're also included in every single one of them, as well as the weekly show, The Film Cave, with me and host Logan Swish on Wednesday, every Wednesday. So guys, we have plenty to offer you. Hit that subscribe button, it's right down below, and hit that notification bell to be reminded when all these things drop. So now, The Mandalorian, The Rescue, directed by Peyton Reed. There was much anticipation about this episode. How would it end? What would happen? Who would answer the call, if anybody? We had a lot of those answered, and boy, oh boy, was it emotional as hell. So it starts off with our heroes essentially tracking down a Imperial ship with the doctor, I forget his name, aboard, the one who was experimenting on Grogu. Now, that was a great scene that, I didn't expect, but it's a trend that the show has been going on within the last few episodes. It showed a officer who was, well, not an officer, but someone who was on the Death Star when they destroyed Alderaan. And that was a strong scene by, involving, Cara Dune, obviously being from Alderaan. The show has been showing a different light to the Empire. It had a lot of instances where it puts you in the shoes and the side of the Empire. We saw that with Bill Burr, in how just because you were there does not mean that you share the same values as the Empire. Some people are just naturally forced into it. He made a good comparison to that with Mandalore in episode 7. They're doing a good job of showing you what it's like to be on the other side, whether that's good or bad. This was, of course, one of those darker times, which this was a very dark episode, to be honest with you. And him basically egging Cara on of like, I was there to witness your people die and be murdered. The galaxy is better being rid of those terrorists. So it's showing you different point of views on both sides and how they view the opposing side. Now, that's something I really liked. That was a very strong scene. It was a very good way to start off the episode. And of course, it ended with Cara completely just blasting this fool right in the face, which he deserved. Excuse me. So that was definitely an awesome opening. From there, our heroes go off to, I don't know the planet they were on, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. So if anybody in the comment section know, what planet they were at to go pick up Bo-Katan, let me know. So they go to recruit Bo-Katan. They say, hey, listen, we got the coordinates to this motherfucker. We need to go, handle our business, get my son back, and be out. Anything that you want, you can have. I just want my son. Essentially. But then it gave us this, oh my Lord, have mercy, I'm touching myself already. The amazing badass scene, oh God, with Boba Fett and the opposing Mandalorians. It showed us, again, different beliefs. And Bo-Katan came at this man hard. It's like, listen, you're an embarrassment to the army you were, homie. You are not a Mandalorian. And Boba's like, motherfucker, I never said I was. So, you can get the smoke right now. And then him, and I forget her name, Sasha Banks. I'm just going to call her Sasha Banks because that's her name, but I forget her character name. They square off, head to head. Boom, bang, boom. We're going at it. Now I know that's going to make some Boba Fett purists a little upset. Just the mere fact she got a lick in too. But if you really want to think about it, hey, they both got smashed on some tables, so it's kind of even. But of course, there's seen a lot of reactions of people like, oh no, Boba Fett, that would never happen. Excuse me. But it did. Even badasses can get hit every once in a while. Come on now. But that was great. So now we have Bo-Katan and company with the rest of our heroes going along on this epic journey. We're going on a trip on a favorite rocket ship. Walking through the size, little Einstein. Okay. So, of course, the doctor starts filling them in. Like, listen, this is what's going on within the Imperial cruiser. These are where the Dark Troopers are. This is where Grogu is. And you have this amount of time until the Dark Troopers are activated to get the hell out. Or there will be hell to pay. And hell there was. So they devised a plan in order to keep the Imperials, I guess, on their toes, but to have them welcome a ship, one of their own, if it was under attack. That's exactly what they did. Moff Gideon was like, yo, something ain't right. Throw the TIE fighters on these people. They did. Boba Fett handled that like a boss, as always. Our heroes got in, infiltrated. From here, this episode takes off. Because a very, not a slow start, but a very reserved start to this episode, which is fine. We need that build up. But minute they get in there, this episode becomes an episode. Listen, girls get it done. Hashtag. Fucking Cara, Fennec, Bo-Katan, and Sasha Banks run up in there just handling people, kicking all kinds of ass. Nobody was safe. Nobody. And then Mando. First of all, once all that shit started happening, Moff Gideon was like, homie, activate, the Dark Troopers. We're handling this now. I'm not waiting. He straight went puss. He was like, listen, get them out of here. I'm worried for my life. Let's go. Alright, cool. While all this is happening, Dark Troopers are activating. They're revving up. Mando finally, sees them, confronts them. The door is already open. They're about to walk out dick slanging. Mando's like, no. Got the encoder, closed the door, one gets out. Man, this was essentially Terminator in space. This was Star Wars Terminator. That's exactly what this was. This big old bastard was whooping Mando's ass wholeheartedly, with no remorse. And Mando, he was still in it, thankfully, because the Beskar, he was just feeling the innards, like, oh, this really hurts in the morning. But he finds a way. Life finds a way. He took his lovely Beskar staff and put that sumbitch right in the neck. Ripped it off. Clank, clank, clank. Amazing. Now, he's on his way to Gideon. because the girls make it to the main bridge. He's nowhere to be found. Alright, bet. But once, Mando defeats the first Dark Trooper, he sends the rest to outer space. Boom. They're gone. So we thought. So now, Mando finally comes to the holding of Grogu. Fucks up 2 stormtroopers beyond belief in very brutal fashion. Stabs one, snaps the other one's neck. Again, this was a dark episode for Star Wars. You have a lot of themes. I'm just like, whoa, homie. You got people blasting the face. You hearing necks get snapped. You talk about the suicide attempts. All of that. So yeah. So he finds Grogu, and of course, guess who's waiting for him? That smooth ass motherfucking jive turkey Moff Gideon. Darksaber in hand, right over Grogu. Him and Mando are having a conversation. And then, as Giancarlo is usually known for, the charm comes up. We as an audience, at least what they try to convey, is for us to think that Moff is turning not a new leaf, but having an understanding. They're like, listen, I know you want the kid. I know Bo-Katan wants this here saber. Take the kid, be out. I've already got what I want from him. But in order to, ensure my survival, take him and we will go our separate ways. You leave now. Mando foolishly, falls for this. You can go for it, but he turns his back to him completely. And then what happens? Moff Gideon takes that son-of-a-bitch saber out and just starts striking Mando down. But of course he has Beskar, so he's hitting him, dodging them 1-2s. And Moff Gideon is holding his damn own. Like, he is slashing away. He is hacking at this man like, I don't even know. And I'm like, okay, Giancarlo, for the most part, looks like Giancarlo's doing the most of the stunts himself. It's very, wide shots. You can see the face. And it's him getting it. I'm like, alright, good for you. But Mando said I had enough of this, bruh, and takes out that staff. Not that staff, but the Beskar staff. And this is when his Game of Thrones training starts coming in. Him and Moff Gideon going at it. Bang, bang, boom, boom, boom. It's amazing. The choreography is on point. The stage interactions are on point. But then Mando gets the upper hand. Yes, he does. Knocks that motherfucker on his ass. But Moff ain't no fool. He says, you spared my life. This should be interesting. In which it was. Because that sly bastard knew. He knew. He was like, oh, you just whipped my ass. You with Bo-Katan. She wants this shit. So the bullshit commences. Mando brings Moff Gideon into the bridge where everybody is standing, including Bo-Katan, and he is holding that Darksaber, and oh my god. I'm touching myself, I'm getting the chills. Mando looked sexy as fuck with that damn saber in his hand. It was a good look for him. It was a good look. I was turned on. It was great. I said, fuck Bo-Katan, you take this, you lead Mandalore, just go about your way, because that looks good on you. It did. It was fitting with the armor and that. It was a badass sight, y'all. You know it. So Moff Gideon starts his little planning, his instigating. Why don't you kill him to take it? It belongs to you now. What up? She and Mando's like, I don't need that shit. Here you go. Take it. Nah, bruh. It can only be won through combat. The sword doesn't hold power. It comes with the story. The story does. And as he's talking, Bo-Katan's sitting there like shit. She mad as hell. Mando keeps trying to give it to her, and then she finally says, Gideon's right. Everything he said, I can't do it. It has to be won in combat. So that is a plug for future issues within the next season of The Mandalorian. We will see how that will reside. So that's interesting. That's one possible plot point for the future. But before anything else can happen, guess who's back? It ain't Slim Shady. It's the fucking Dark Troopers. Because When they got floated off into space, they started flying right back. Like, yeah, we here. Hello. Come back. We back, bitches. So now everyone's on panic mode, as they rightfully should, because as Moff Gideon mentioned, like, bro, you had your handfuls of one. Imagine a platoon. This whole shit was overkill in the first place. There are 4 people. 5. But 4 that he knew of at the time. On your ship. You release 40 plus or whatever dark troopers for 4 people, bruh. Scared. But it's alright. It's alright. So, they're worried. They're getting ready. They're gearing up. I'm like, alright, we're going to put this Darksaber situation on hold. Moff Gideon, you sit your ass down right there. My God. Then the beauty happens. And this is what mainly this video is going to be talked about. I just wanted to give y'all my, my nightcap of the episode itself to get you to this point. The ship alert starts going off. Next wing comes in. Now here's my issue. This is my only issue with the episode, to be honest with you. It's not a big one. It's nothing major. I just would have handled it differently. You see an X-Wing. Even the purists of Star Wars fans immediately didn't thank Luke. It took a second. Well, I did. Some people did, some people didn't. They say an X-Wing. Kara says, oh, one X-Wing. Well, we're saved. That was my issue. I felt the execution would have been better. The surprise would have been better if she didn't call notice to just that. If they just would have been like, oh, it's the Republic. Da, 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 da. That would have thrown audiences off a little bit, at least. Maybe, which would have had a better chance. By them just saying, oh, just the one X-Wing? Oh, God. That drew more attention to who it could be. And for me, I'm somebody who's obsessed and absolutely love twists. I love surprises. I love all of that. But when it's given to you ahead of time, I don't like it as much because it doesn't have that much impact. This would have had full-blown impact if she didn't mention the singularity of the X-Wing and its importance like that. People just would have been like, oh, the X-Wing, like, oh, the Republic is here or whatever. Because other motherfuckers could have been swarming around. You never know. You could have done some trickery. You could have done some shots where it looked some kind of way. That's my only gripe. Because if you would have kept it that, and if you wouldn't have emphasized that moment, so many people wouldn't have been quick to be like, Luke, or is it da 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 da? I feel like the New Republic, and then you could start with the Grogu ears. Clink! When they start going up, like, oh, he's feeling some shit. Wait a minute, what's happening? I feel like that would have been better off. Anywho, we continue. Everyone's like, who is this? X-Wing pilot, state yourself, yada yada yada. The music's starting to rev. Oh, and that music is sexy as fuck. Ludwig, man, this season this man killed it in terms of score for the show. Killed it. But this whole situation with this man, this music was amazing. So heroic, slightly Terminator-ish, very Terminator-ish. Just want to throw that out there. But still, it was amazing and epic. Looking through the security cams, and all of a sudden, that cloak just starts walking down the hallway. And at this point, Jesus, as you saw in my reaction, my body is just losing control. But still, we don't know who it is. Could be Ahsoka, could be somebody else, could be Ezra, could be Cal, could be whoever. Then the saber starts going off, and he starts chomping them dark troopers down like nothing. Knife through butter. Bink! 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 I'm like, who is this? Moff Gideon sitting there shitting himself. I'm jizzing on myself. Then it happens. We see a frame shot of the trooper standing there, and then that green saber just comes right into flame, and I die. I die. I died immediately. And then he just keeps on with the bass addery, and the music just keeps going. Everybody's looking like, what's happening? It's the Jedi. Da, 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 da. Oh my god, he's having the moves. Everything's so fluent. Everything's so sharp. Everything's so calculated. He's using the Force properly. He's using environmental interactions. This was Master Jedi Luke. Master Jedi Luke. And then the cum shot. The hallway moment. The Rogue One to Vader's scene. Like his father before him. The dark troopers are just lining up in the hallway right in front of the door, not protecting, but in between Mando and Luke. The door opens up. Two-Face screams. And then he just goes off. He goes off, and I am just giddy as hell, because I'm like, yes, yes, yes. He is chopping them down like crazy. And then at the end, the crush. He crushes the damn dark trooper like it's paper. Like, Mando says, let him in. My son's feeling some shit. He knows what's up. Let him in. He lets him in. Saber glowing in the smoke. It's a portrait. It's beautiful. Luke walks in. Puts the saber away. Does the Jedi reveal. In a CGI young Mark Hamill. With Mark Hamill actually there in real life, but not in his youth. And he looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Could you tell it was CG? Of course. Of course. And I'm quite frankly getting tired of people using that excuse or as a negative. You can slightly tell. You do it. You make them. Make a CGI young Mark Hamill. Please, go right ahead. You are never going to get the perfect replication of a human being to CGI and make it just look like, oh my god. You will never. Maybe until like futures on when it gets more perfected. But for what it is, for the budget they have for a TV show, this was fucking phenomenal. Now, you know, I've seen the complaints. It looks weird, slightly off. He's not really moving. Well, let's take a look at Mark Hamill to begin with. Back in his, Star Wars days. They had all the inklings and emotions. Absolutely correct. Mark Hamill didn't really express much during his acting. He really didn't. They even had the top one. Mark Hamill, his top lip, when he speaks, does not really move like that. He's all bottom emote when he speaks. They got that. They got the slight eyebrow raise and the nods when he, what Mark Hamill does. They hit all the emotional beats that this man actually does and did back then. Mark was very expressive with his eyes. Very expressive. He was stern. Didn't do much. Again, that's where the eyebrows came in. Again, as an actor, you know what to look for and what's happening when an actor does performances. They replicated that to a T. That was Mark Hamill's voice. They brought it back, tweaked it for a little younger and tried to match it to the old days. They did it perfectly. I'm somebody who does not believe in knacking some shit I cannot do myself. I am not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's off, it's a little distracting. Then make one. The floor is yours. So that's my gripe with that. So, we continue. We see it's Luke. Everyone's like, alright, what the fuck's going on? What's happening? Mando says, you a Jedi? Luke's like, I am the Jedi, bitch. He didn't say that, but that's what we all wanted him to say. But he said, I am. He tells the kid, come. He looks at Mando. Mando's like, he doesn't want to go with you. He says he's waiting for your permission. Oh, God. That's when the emotions started coming. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, he has so much love and respect for Mando. He knows the connection they have. And he's essentially like, yo, Dad, like, I have to do this, but I can't do it if I need your blessing to do so. Because he could just hop his little ass on and be like, bye. But it's just that love they have for one another, man. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then Mando say, he's like, there's nothing I can do. Like, you have to go with him. Like, he picks him up. They share these just beautiful moments, man. Beautiful moments. 2 seasons worth of just building camaraderie, love, protection was all coming out within these minutes. You've seen everything they've been through just like that in these moments. As they look at each other and he's telling them, you know, you have to go, these are your kind, it's what's best for you and things like that. Grogu goes to stroke the face, the mask. And I'm just breaking at this point, as well as all of you. And I was like, bro, you have to take off the mask. Like, have this moment with your son. Long and behold, Mando takes off the mask. Grogu finally sees his father for the first time. Like, him actually behind the mask. And Grogu sits there and looks at him. Takes it all in, does his little baby sounds, goes in and holds his face. Man, this single-handedly, this moment, from that moment to the end of the episode, was the most emotional moment ever in Star Wars. Single-handedly, you cannot tell me differently. Not one. This was the most emotional moment in all of Star Wars, let alone 2020, in TV shows, narrative point of view, whatever you want to go about it. It's definitely one of. But for Star Wars, it's the. It was handled so well, so perfectly, and I commend Peyton Reed for this. But this was amazing. Mando says, don't be afraid. I'll see you again. I promise. He better. Sets Grogu down to go on his journey. He looks back. He looks at Luke. They have that connection. He looks back down. Grogu is sitting there, so looking at his dad one last time. And then, we hear the shit, and then R2 rolls around. I'm like, what more do you want to do to me? And at this point, I'm just full on crying. Because the moment is amazing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's beautiful. It's legendary. But what you are feeling here is pure nostalgia. And what I mean by that is that whole moment was Star Wars. This is what Star Wars was all about. This brought everything back that we were missing in these new sequels, outside of The Last Jedi, which we will get to. To see R2, to see that version, that iteration of Luke, and to see what Mandalorian has done for Star Wars already, to see that all come together as a collective was Star Wars. Pure Star Wars. And as a fan, that crushed me emotionally. It made me so happy to see. And that's when the tears just started flowing for me. I couldn't hold it anymore. Because it was beautiful to see. Then Luke picks up Grogu. They walk away. As they're walking, Mando and Grogu are not taking their eyes off each other. Beautiful music is playing in the background to just help symbolize the importance and the impact of this moment. Turns around, goes in the elevator, the doors close. Boom. Episode over. Now, that was my quick nightcap with more emphasis on the Luke situation. Obviously, that was the most important thing. Now, the reason why I mentioned The Last Jedi, because I've seen a lot of comments. Oh, this is the Luke we deserved from what we got in The Last Jedi and yada yada yada. I'm going to say this, and it's a stance I've always stood by and I've always said. If you call yourself a true Star Wars fan, that would not be a sentence coming out of your mouth. Here's why. We know our Luke. We know the Luke from the previous films. We got that in this. There's a problem within fandom that people hold expectations. People feel the right to ownership when it comes to a particular character. And for that right, you will always be disappointed. Because of that right to ownership, you lose sense of story. You lose the importance of story. You lose character growth. You lose everything. A character does not stay the same. Ever. Narratively, in life, never. If you want a character to be the same without any growth, without any challenge, without any despair, you do not care about the character. To think Luke Skywalker is going to remain this perfect hero, the shining example of a hero, you are wrong. And that's why Last Jedi is a masterpiece, because it challenges that very thought that us, and as you, as fans, have, or feel the right to. It begs the question, what happens when your hero falls? Because there's going to come a time and chance that they're going to. Especially when you've been through all what Luke has and has seen. The Jedi are not perfect. The Jedi are not the shining examples of heroism that we think. Even going down back to the originals, prequels, all of that explores that narrative, and it's in our face. That's why there's always been such a respectable and perfect balance between Sith, Jedi, Empire, Republic, because each side does things that is not ideally or just plain right or wrong, or just right for that matter in the case of the Jedi. There's going to be a lot of blurred lines. There's going to be a lot of things we have ourselves do for the greater good. That's what happened to Luke. The Jedi challenges us and the characters. Luke has given up hope from the one that we've seen in Return of the Jedi, and from there on. He's seen so much. He's weary. He knows what's happening. He has failed a whole school worth of promising young Jedi. As a master, as somebody embracing the Jedi way and seeing those flaws that they have, that's going to question who you are morally. That's going to question who you are as the so-called hero. How can you live up to what the galaxy thinks you are, as opposed to who you really are? The things you've done, the things you've seen. I'm no hero, bruh. I've done things, yes, that were heroic. I've done things I'm not proud of. I'm not this hero. That don't put me as that. That's what The Last Jedi questions. What happens to your heroes when they're not who you think? When life actually smacks them in the mouth and is like, damn. Even through all that, Luke in The Last Jedi still embodied what he was in the originals. Through his reluctancy, through his doubts, through his exile, which Yoda also did when he failed, but nobody talked shit about that. he still ended up being that symbol of hope that got the Republic on its feet to fight back. He saved what was left of the Republic. Luke did that. He was the hero that everyone thought he was and said he was by the end of The Last Jedi. It was pure poetry. It's beautiful. And at this point, if it's not understood, you're just looking for a reason to be mad. You're fanboying. It's not the way that you wanted somebody to turn out. And that's why. And I'm probably going to lose followers on all this, me saying this, but it's the truth. And by those actions, that just proves it. No hero is perfect. Every hero needs to be challenged. Every hero needs to be questioned. Every hero needs to be based and grounded in some kind of reality, because none of them are perfect. And none of them do shit perfectly to achieve what they're looking for and what is required of them. This was a perfect arc from Star Wars to The Last Jedi for Luke Skywalker. It showed a broken man, and at the end it showed him living up to the mantle of who he was, who the galaxy needed him to be. When all hope was lost, when everybody was literally about to get wiped out, standing there front and center for the resistance was Luke Skywalker, allowing them to be free, saving them, saving the galaxy, putting himself on the line, and being that hero that we know him to be. Let's have a conversation about that. I'm completely open to that, because I know it's going to happen. But me personally, if you do not see that, the obvious, I personally don't think you can call yourself a fan narratively from that perspective, because it all makes sense. And no hero is going to be perfect, and you can't claim rights to a hero into an IP that is not yours. It's just simple. It's hard to accept change, sure, but did they really change? An argument can be made. But narratively, it is perfect. And The Mandalorian gave us a glimpse of even what we didn't see in the originals with Luke, just being the badass. It was amazing. The Last Jedi is the only film within the sequels that truly embodies Star Wars, that makes you think and upholds everything Star Wars, the Force, beliefs is about. And it dares to make you think outside of the Skywalkers. Star Wars, we followed the Skywalkers, but it was never about them. The Force is with everyone. Make a name for yourself in terms of race, all of that. Anyone can. The Force is within all of us. Make your own path. Don't hide behind the legacy or expectations of others. Simple. It's always road on that. We just so happen to follow one. But this episode was amazing, fantastic, and I want to make this video to lay claim and have a discussion about the comparisons between old school Luke and The Last Jedi Luke, because I've seen both arguments floating around ever since this episode, and I want to give my 2 cents on the episode, and of course how and why it affected me so much to the level that it did. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys stuck around for this. If you disagree, I wholeheartedly, I genuinely want to talk about it. Let me know in the comment sections below. Give me your input. We'll have a discussion. I absolutely feel free. But if let me think. I may have an idea for that for next week's film cave. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna think. But in the meantime, I thank you guys for joining me Let me know your thoughts on the episode and of course what we talked about towards the end in the comment sections below. I vastly welcome it. This is an open community. This is an open forum. Let me know. Challenge me, debate me, respectfully. I meant to say that because I love a good debate. I love a discussion. I'm always here for it. And I'll be happy to have it with you crime fighters and those that are new. Alright? Join me on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Like, comment, and share. Subscribe. If you haven't already, subscribing, I'm telling you, it's not a bad idea. I'd highly appreciate it, and I tell you it won't be in vain and or empty. A lot of content. Give this video a thumbs up. Really helps the channel out a lot, as well as hitting the notification bell to be reminded whenever I make a video. And be sure to follow my social media posted in the description box below. Crime fighters, it's been real. It's been John, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.